Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Registered Ranching Podcast. You got Tucker Brown and Willie Wardle back behind the mic. And it's even one of my favorite times because, Willie, you pulled out the felt hat today.
I did.
You pulled out the felt hat. And what's the rule? Once you can't switch once you go to felt.
I switched a couple times already.
I know you did. You cheated. I know you did. I just had to call you out on it.
I switched, I think, 2 or 3 times.
2 or 3 already?
I got excited the first time because of the cold weather.
Got excited, then you sweat.
And then I switched
winter.
back and then switched back again. I'll probably do at least one more time.
You're not supposed to be. You can't do that. It's
I'm from
against the
Maryland.
rules.
I'm not even a cowboy. I'm from Maryland.
Against
I just
the
like wearing the
rules.
hat.
That's why we can't take you to town.
Can't.
Welcome back to the Registered Ranching Podcast, episode 14. And the event that is coming up is important, Willie. Important to the ranch. It is our bull sale coming up. We have it every second Wednesday of October. But what makes this one different, Willie, what is it?
It's a big number.
It's a big number.
Half a century.
Half a century.
Read my mind.
Years. 50 years in the making. This will be the 50th annual bull sale at the R.A. Brown Ranch. And to talk about it, we brought in none other than the guy who knows more than anybody else about it, is Mr. Donnell Brown. Donnell, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
Woo! Yeah, welcome back. You were on, what was it, the second episode?
I think so. Second or third.
Third?
Yeah.
Second or third episode. Now we're sitting on episode 14. Oh, I'm trying to think if that was before the March sale. I think it was after the March sale.
It was Wade was the first one. Tyler was the second. And then you were the third one, but it was the first one in this room.
It was the
Oh,
first
that's
one
right.
in this room.
It was the first one in this room.
And it looks a little different since then.
It does.
And I'm really proud of you guys. I mean, so many podcasts get started. They go 1, 2, 3, maybe 5. And here you guys are at 14 and just getting warmed up.
Just finally, we're just getting the kinks out.
That's right.
We'll be here for the 75th anniversary.
Hey, we're ready.
It'll be a
Lord willing.
1014 episode.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have a weekly podcast by then.
We'll have an editor by then.
Daily. Well, Donald, we're excited to have you. Number 50, the R.A. Brown Ranch Bull Sale. You've been alive for all of them.
I've been present at all of them.
Yeah. You've been to every sale, spring and fall, but this is the number 50 fall sale. But if you had all the sales together,
Yeah.
this is almost
60.
59.
Yeah, 59, I think. That's right.
With the spring sale. But
Well, no, it'd be more than that because we used to have spring sales in April.
in April,
That was before you were even born. We had
I don't remember those.
probably had 10 of those
So
in April where we sold a lot of females. But we started I think this will be the 9th or 10th annual March sale coming up the second Wednesday of March. But here we are coming up on the second Wednesday of October, second Tuesday and Wednesday, October 8th and 9th. We'll be having our 50th annual sale. And, it's so neat as we were getting ready for the catalog and looking through some of the first sale catalog was actually just a spreadsheet with data that had some weights and ages and sire and dam of the first bulls that sold, and they averaged, I think, $475.
did they have Excel spreadsheets back then?
I did not have Excel spreadsheets back then. My mom typed all of those in. We were reflecting with her earlier this week about how she would type all of those in. And, if you had one mistake, you'd have to go back and correct that or start over. It was an arduous process for sure.
Well, number 50, 50th annual sale. What does that mean? What does that mean to you, being to all of them? Not many make it to 50.
That's very true. Very few make it to 50. And it's neat. I remember thinking at 40 that was a milestone. Mm-hmm. And it was a milestone. Absolutely. I mean, there are a lot of sales don't make it to 40. So 10 years ago, I was like, man, 50 is going to be a really big milestone.
Yeah.
And it's
already here.
And here it is. I remember I was 6 years old at the very first sale. We had it under a tent. right out by the arena and by where now the boxcar is, and where we used to have the sale at the Big Red Barn. But man, it was big portable tent and portable panels, and we ran the bulls through the ring, and it didn't take long to get her done because there weren't that many bulls.
How many were? Do you know how many were at the first sale?
Yeah, I was trying to remember. I'd have to look back through this spreadsheet right here, but there were probably, looking at this list, there were probably 100 and 120 bulls, something like that. Yeah.
Pretty good start.
It was a good start, yeah. And Dad had a packer buyer there that actually did buy several bulls. That's how cheap they were. Oh. But, auctions were kind of a new thing because it was, before you just went to a rancher's place and you bought bulls and you looked through them and you kicked the tires and, it all worked well. And then just, it was kind of a new thing to do the auction. There were auction markets. Gosh, your great-great-grandfather managed one of the first commission companies at the Fort Worth Stockyards. But doing it with bulls and horses was a new thing. And so, not knowing, hey, can you sell 120 bulls in one day? Yeah, that was a big day. And so he's like, hey, Dad always said, what's a good bull worth? He said, a good bull's worth packer price plus whatever else you can get for him. In all reality, that's the base price.
Yeah.
As time has gone by, we've come up with, and I think you did some of that research while you were in college through the first 40 sales, where a bull typically averages the value of 5 weaned calves or 3 finished steers.
Right.
And that's a really good, when calves were bringing it weaning $1,000, a $5,000 bull was a pretty typical price. You're looking at bulls now that are averaging 7,000 or 8,000, and that's kind of the average of what 5 weaned calves are bringing or 3 finished steers. And there's a range on each side of that. I'm sure we're going to sell some $4,000 bulls, and we may sell some $12,000 or $15,000 bulls, but I'm going to guess the average in that $7,000 to $8,000 range where a lot of those bulls will fit. That really fits the market because we are in the highest market in history. And the beautiful thing is that the fundamentals look right for this record high cattle market to last for a significant amount of time. Too often they come and go quickly. It did that in 2014 and 15. But boy, all the supply and demand, people really aren't keeping heifers yet. And so the opportunity to buy good bulls right now, produce more pounds of calf worth more value, and really reap the benefits of making that happen.
So whenever, I'm going to go back just a little bit, when Granddad decided to do the first bull sale, what do you think that decision was like? What were the conversations around that decision? Should we stop? Maybe not stop doing private treaty completely.
Right. Because there were still people that wanted to buy private treaty, so we sold some bulls privately.
And we still do.
That's right.
But, what do you think that conversation looked like between Rob and Peggy, Grandmom and Granddad, of should we have a bull sale? What was pressuring them to do that?
Well, I remember some of those conversations at the dinner table. My granddad had passed away in 1964, so it was 11 years later, and part of it was how can we coordinate all of our efforts, all of our workloads, so all the bulls are ready on one day, and so that everybody gets first choice. Nobody likes to get second, third, fourth, picked over bulls. I want to buy the best one. I want to go buy, and so what Dad did is said, hey, let's have an event. Let's have it where let's feed everybody lunch. And that's a whole nother story of how we fed people. Yeah. But let's have an event where people come together, and we'd had some private treaty, like opening week private treaty sales prior to 1975, where it was like a week long. And that was so people could come in. It was still private treaty. You had a chance to spend more time visiting with the customer. But again, it was kind of focused effort where we're setting this week aside that we're not going to be working cattle, we're not going to be weaning calves, we're not going to be shipping calves, we're not going to be working and preg checking cows. We're focused on the customers this week, where we don't have to shut down when somebody drives in and says, you got some bulls for sale? We're going to have it where they are number one priority that week, and the bulls are right and ready that time.
Yeah.
And that's worked out well. So one is a benefit for the customer where everybody gets first choice when they come to the auction. Everybody gets first choice. There's no bulls sold ahead of time and so everybody gets first choice. The other thing is they can set it on their calendar. And they know, all right, the second Wednesday of October, that's where I'm going to be. Mm-hmm. Now, that's a whole nother story in that Dad didn't want to have it because it was big about when are we going to have it. Because a lot of people said, well, we need it on a weekend. I mean, Saturdays have been a very common day for auctions for years. Mm-hmm. But Mom and Dad were like, I don't want to compete against Texas football. So let's have it in the middle of the week.
Smart.
And let's people either take off a day work if they don't work full time on the ranch, or they'll come during the week. Let them spend their time with their family on the weekend, go to the football game, whatever they do. I think it's easier to compete with the workplace and things they've got going on midweek than it was to compete with the weekend in Texas football. And that's how it started. It's been on the second Wednesday or middle of the week of October since I can remember.
And I remember maybe Grandmama and Granddad talking about they kind of planned it with some other bull developers of having their sale at a similar time to where if they went to R.A. Brown Ranch and didn't get their bull the same week or that weekend or 2 days later was one that was still in the same area.
Right. And there were mainly Hereford sales back in the early 70s is mainly what, the huge majority of cattle at that point in time were Herefords. Most of them were 2-year-olds. And because that's just kind of, people sold them as 2-year-olds. You didn't have the ability to feed bulls the way we do to grow them at the pace we do today. And so, sell them as 2-year-olds.
That big.
It did. It really did. But, you look at some of the advertisements for that first set of bulls, and they were all horned. Of course, horned Herefords, they still sell them with the horns. Yes. But these were Simmental bulls. Some were half Simmental. Some were 3/4 Simmental, the balance being Hereford. And so we've been selling hybrid bulls since the very beginning and valuing and benefiting from hybrid vigor.
I just almost spilled the ranch fuel.
Don't do that.
That was a close one.
Almost spilled the ranch fuel. Use discount code Tucker Brown. You get 15% off. Go get your ranch fuel. I have one every morning.
All that real cowboy energy all over the table.
Energy through the veins, dude. That's what they, I'm going to need that the morning of the sale.
That's right.
Good news is you can get it the morning of the sale because they're going to be there.
They'll be there.
You know who else is?
Who?
Ag Gear's going to be there.
Really?
You know who else is?
Who?
Bedrock Truck Beds.
No way.
Mm-hmm. They're all going to be there.
It's because
we also have some other great people that we work with too. Those three just happen to work with us as well.
Is going to be there?
Fairpiece going to be there.
Fairpiece will be there.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Hey, Bailey Busher just got married on Saturday. She's on her honeymoon. She's coming back from her honeymoon to be at our sale.
Commitment.
I'm really proud of Bailey. Absolutely.
Thank goodness we didn't compete with football, but we did with a wedding, and they're coming back.
No, we didn't compete. They prioritized it.
That's right.
Because they know how fun
they knew what day it was going to be, October 8th and 9th. Not
That's
always. 9th and 10th, 8th and 9th.
It was the second Wednesday of October.
Second Wednesday of October and the Tuesday before. That's right.
So number 50 is the first ones were Simmental. We're looking at the original catalog here. First ones were Simmental bulls. The sale looks a little different now, not because it's more than 120 bulls, not because the number's different, but there's a whole lot of things different, including the breeds.
There are. As you look at this very first catalog, there are Simmental Hereford cross bulls. There's some purebred Simmental bulls, and there are actually some Sim Angus bulls in here. So we have worked with 17 different breeds in my lifetime. Have sold progeny from 17 different breeds through this sale, and right now we're focused on 3. Those 3 being both colors of Angus and both colors of Sim Angus. And that's because we have chosen to sell what the customer wants to buy. And that is the easiest. I've tried to just sell what we wanted to raise. And in the transition between Dad and I, we struggled with that a little bit because, man, Simmental had made a lot of people a lot of money because of the increase in weaning weights through the 70s and 80s. But then the push for Angus, the push for calving ease, for natural poleness, for solid color, and especially for black with the onset of certified Angus beef, the most successful marketing program for beef in the history of the world.
Yeah.
And so we added those breeds. We added purebred Angus and purebred red Angus to help provide what the customer wanted to buy.
When was that? 80 sometime.
Yeah, 87, 88, 89, right in there. We added both black Angus and red Angus. We went to Ocala, Florida, and bought 400 Angus cows from a herd there. It was a time when long and tall was really popular, and we were believers that more conservative size that was deeper, thicker, and easier keeping was better. And so we packaged up, there were 100 daughters of a really popular Angus bull called Pine Drive Big Sky. He was a big, long, tall bull that not necessarily the kind we want today. Wasn't the kind we wanted then. So we packaged up, out of those 400, 100 of them were daughters, and one was a full sister to Pine Drive Big Sky. So we packaged those up and sold them and almost paid for the entire purchase of the 400 head cow herd.
Golly.
Yeah, and we ended up with cows that were better moving forward. And so, we went from the 50s, they were belt buckle high cattle, and then went to the 80s when I was in high school, and you just barely could see over the top of them. and now we've moderated back to a Goldilocks size where it's not too big, not too small, but just right.
Mm-hmm. What is at that time, people were, at the early sales, people were purely buying on what that bull looks like and maybe a couple of the weights that were in if there was a catalog, a couple of the weights.
Yeah.
I don't see any EPDs on that.
No, this was before EPDs. EPDs didn't come out until 1983. I remember the first set we printed off of the dot matrix printer that had a wheel that rolled out paper like an accordion. And but on here, we've got birth weight, we've got weaning weight and weaning ratio, and an actual weight at the time. And that's all the information we had. And now in the sale catalog, we've got, I want to say there's 70 pieces of information for every bull. Ooh. And that's just a part. I'm putting Excel spreadsheets up on the computer.
Yeah.
And that, I want to say that's about 180 columns wide with a lot more information in it that customers can go online and sort. And one thing different I'm doing this year, I know we're kind of bouncing all over the place, but one of the things I'm doing for the first time, Willie, you remember when I spoke at Texas Southwestern Cattle Raisers about the ABCs of EPDs. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
And that's where I first presented to a large audience my color coding Excel spreadsheets. Where we do like a traffic light, green is good, yellow's okay, red is stop. And so what I've done is I've taken all the EPDs in the catalog and color coded them so that people can download them from rabrownranch.com, sort them however they want to. So there's one sheet that is just the data, no colors. There's another sheet that's for an all-purpose selection, if they want to keep replacement heifers.
Wow.
And another one if it's terminal, where every calf they produce is going to be sold for beef. No replacement heifers. That's right. So there's three options: no colors, all-purpose or maternal, and a terminal color coding system to help identify the cattle and at an easy glance the ones that best fit what they want. I started doing that for a few customers here a few years ago. I've been doing the color coding system really, for 25 years. But this is the first time I've really shared it with the public. First time we've ever put it on our website. And, that there's a link to that talk on our website if people want to, look at that ABCs of EPDs. But you're right. In the beginning, it was just looking at the cattle. And then we've just continued to measure more traits and identify traits of the most economic relevance.
Yeah.
And now we have indexes that put them into what's called a bioeconomic index so that I can look at it and say, all right, if I'm If I'm just going to feed all these calves, I can look at which bull is going to produce me the most dollars due to fast growth, efficient growth, and awesome carcass. Or if I'm keeping replacement heifers, I can look which one's going to make me the most money as a cow. Mm-hmm. Those are all things that we've done. So, really we've added a lot more information, and we've had to kind of summarize some of that information, because my spreadsheets to come up with this catalog, I've got even more than what we put on the website. Some of my spreadsheets are over 800 columns wide.
Huge.
It's huge.
So much information.
It's a mountain of information, so we've got to boil it down. So we've got EPDs, we've got percentile rank, where they rank within the breed. We've got the star rating system for heifer Cavanese. So if you need a Cavanese bull to use on heifers, growth, how many pounds am I going to be able to sell at market time? Carcass, if I'm taking these onto the rail, how well are they going to do selling them on a value-based grid? We've got cow herd traits, so which ones are going to make the best daughters, that are going to be cows that stay in the herd for a long time, breed every year, raise a good calf, do everything we ask a cow to do, and do it over and over again on an annual basis. And then this year I added a new star called Complete. It's kind of the all-around, all-purpose. How well do they do everything?
Yeah.
And I've gotten a lot of feedback from that, and customers really seem to like it. But those stars go for anywhere from 0 to 5 on every bull in the sale. It's just another simple way to identify. People say, well, why do you write footnotes on some of the bulls? I said, it's just another way to present the information to tell the customer, here's what this bull brings to the table.
And I like the star system because I know you eat and breathe and enjoy EPDs, and for those who maybe not know what EPDs is, it's just statistics, stat lines for a bull on what we expect him to produce.
That's right.
And what to do. But
well, it's kind of like a window sticker on a car. Yeah. It tells what's under the hood and inside the cab that you can't tell by looking at the outside. And it's based on, is it going to be a bull to use for breeding first-time heifers to calve easy, or to cows to grow fast, or good carcass, or good mothers? How much milk are they going to give? All of those traits that are of economic relevance in the cattle business.
And what I love about the star system is that I know you eat and breathe these EPDs so much and understand each breed and how they're different and what they mean to each other, but very few people within the cattle industry know all that information or can understand it. It's a language of its own, I feel like.
It is.
And so having that star system, we may know what those EPDs mean, but being able to know what the numbers are and where they align with each other is difficult for a lot of people unless you're in it every day. And so I love the star system because if somebody who had never been to a sale can come in and say, there's a star system, more stars is better. They can come in and know exactly which bulls are easier, which bulls are going to be probably worth more, and which ones are going to maybe not produce as much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the ones, we got to look at it, how much are these bulls going to make our customers money? Because that's the thing we always have to remember is the only way we stay in business is if these bulls make our customers money.
Yeah.
And there's a variety of ways for them to make money. One is more pounds to sell. Another is less feed they eat, less expenses to get to market weight. So, and those are things we're doing as we feed efficiency test all of these bulls now and all our replacement heifers, where we're looking for ways to reduce cost to increase profit, as well as increasing pounds to sell. But not only pounds, but like my friend Mark Gardner says, pounds in the right package. Are we selling a pound of lead or are we selling a pound of gold? I'd a lot rather sell a pound of gold. It's worth a lot more. And when we get that really high marbling cattle that grade certified Angus, premium choice, or prime, that's where the real money is.
Yeah. It's almost like, looking at these two catalogs by each other, from the catalog from 1975, looking at it, you're looking at the bull, what he looks like now, and what you think his calves will look like. With the EPDs now, how far...
You mind turning that off?
There's a cricket in here.
There is a cricket in here.
The alarm, 9:15 alarm.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that.
So I feel like the EPDs give us a look into the future. How far into the future do you think the EPDs help us look into that bull. Am I making sense with that question?
Yeah, I mean, it tells us what to expect based on, well, I mean, it's just advanced so much, but this says, here's what I can expect, just like that window sticker on the car. Here's what I can expect from a fuel efficiency standpoint, for example. Okay, or I've got I can tow this much weight because that's what, in building that and testing it, we determined that this can, this got a half-ton capacity or a 1 ton, or I can pull this much weight with this pickup. And I'm going to expect this many miles per gallon. Well, we can look at how many pounds of feed per pound of gain. We can look at how fast they're going to grow, how tall they're going to get, how all of these things. How much marbling are they going to have? How awesome is that steak going to taste out of their calves? And it's based on all of their past performance of them and their parents and all their ancestors and all their half-brothers and sisters. That's where all that information comes from. Plus, the big game changer was DNA. Where now we DNA test every bull, so that with that information, we verify who its parents are. But more than that, we get enough information to account for about 25 calves worth of information.
So for every calf that bull has, you know more of what to expect.
That's right. More proof in the pudding. That's a test of what he's going to produce. Confirmation is a great way to put it, Willie. That's right. So the best way that I know how to describe the value of the DNA is, take, for example, that last year you had 25 heifers to breed, first-time heifers. And the main thing on a first-time heifer is let's get a live calf that comes easy, so that heifer gets that first calf while she's still young and growing. Let's get that one live and healthy on the ground. From then on, man, it's old news. She can do it. That's not a problem. But it's that first one. If we're going to have trouble, that's usually where it's going to happen. So I want a bull that's going to have calves that are born easy, born small. So last year, let's say you bred the 25 heifers to bull A, and you've calved them out, and everything calved easily, no problems, everything's just like you want it. And now it's time to breed the next 25 heifers a year later. You have 2 bulls to pick from. You can use the bull you used last year that had 25 calves just like you wanted, or you can use the new bull that has exactly the same stats, exactly the same EPDs, stars, information, but has never had a calf. Now, which one are you going to feel most confident in using?
Which one are you picking, Willie?
At first, I thought this was a trick question.
No, not a trick question.
I've been asked it a couple times now, and I'm going with the one that's already had proved it.
Absolutely.
That he's gone out and already had the 25 calves.
That's
what one I'd pick.
Yep. And I ask that question over and over again to guests that come to the ranch, and that's what they say they want. I want proof. I want to know.
Yes, sir.
The DNA gives us the equivalent. I was on the phone with Pete Bonds day before yesterday, and he was asking the same thing. He said he's thinking about DNA testing his commercial heifers to get EPDs on his commercial heifers. That's where I think this industry is going. In fact, we had a meeting. We had several customers here last week, and several of those guys have tested every cow in their herd, and they're testing their replacement heifers using DNA technology on commercial. I'm not talking register, I'm talking commercial. I really believe that in the 20 years from now, when we're having our 70th annual sale, the majority of commercial cow herds, the majority of commercial cows will have EPDs.
Wow.
That's how powerful I think this information is. It will revolutionize the cattle business. And we're just on the tip of the spear.
You know what, this kind of reminds me of like the same words that were said about AI.
Which AI?
Same words that were said about artificial insemination.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, this will revolutionize. Every single person's going to use it, but the management has what is the total? 10% maybe?
Yeah, of the U.S. cow herd, it's probably 10 to 15% at best of that's utilizing that
artificial
technology.
Insemination,
that's
right.
utilizing, and most of them on first calf heifers because it's easier to manage an open yearling heifer that's not sucking a calf.
Yes, sir.
But
do you think that will, just because it will help bring consumers that many more dollars on their commercial cow herd, that using DNA will be more utilized than artificial insemination?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we'll have more uptake and more use. It's easy. It's a simple. You pull a hair sample or take a little notch out of the ear, and you send it off, and they send you back, a spreadsheet with all the information. And as a customer service agent, I'm here to help those commercial customers understand that information.
Yes, sir.
And color code that information. So it's really easy to apply and use. So, but I think it's going to work. I think we're also going to see more uptake because of that. We'll see more uptake with the use of artificial insemination because they're able to identify those heifers that have better genetics for fertility and longevity. Oh man, in fact, Kelly and I were talking to Terry Stewart Forrest this morning. She's calving out her first AI heifers. Been using Corrini bulls for a long time. Bred her first heifers to our bulls AI, and said they're spitting them out like watermelon seeds. Just, just beautiful. Said they're loving it. And all those heifers are bred early.
Yes,
their calves are older at weaning time because of their age. If nothing else, they weigh more in addition to the genetic merit they have. So I think all of this is really going to start to increase the utilization of technology.
I do want to go back, though, to something that really surprised me, and I didn't know that it was either up or coming up, or either up or going to be up soon, was the color coding, because that's something that's been super helpful to you. It's been super helpful to me in knowing, how we, at a quick glance at all of our cattle, at which ones reach our targets on EPDs or not. And that's not something that we've shared with a lot of people before.
That's been our secret sauce.
Yeah. And now you're sharing it. And so when you were saying that, I was like, what?
I know. I mean, it was, I struggled and thought and slept on it for lots of nights of, do I share our secret sauce? Mm-hmm. And it was not an easy decision. I mean, it's been a decision. I've been thinking on this for about 3 years. I first shared it in a meeting about a year and a half ago with a small group of about 20 people. And then in March, shared it with the masses at Texas Southwestern Cattle Raisers.
Yep.
This coming up this spring, we're going to, in February, we're going to share it at the National Cattlemen's Convention as they've asked me to speak there.
Oh, yeah. Are you going to do ABCs of EPDs?
I think that's going to be the plan. Huh. So, we're going to share that secret sauce so that the more I can help our customers reach success, I'm confident they'll keep coming back to us. And I'm not worried about the competition because in all reality, not everybody sees the business the same way we do. Mm-hmm. Some still sell them mainly on just how they look, and that's okay.
Because some people buy that way.
Because some people buy that way. Our customers have to be some of the smartest customers in the world because they, for decades, have come highlighters in hand and marking their catalogs. They come with highlights. I mean, they've been color coding for a long time with highlighters. I mean, I think of John Boswell and Wendell Culp. I mean, they've been coming with highlighters for a long time to our catalog. And so now I'm just doing it for them with that spreadsheet. And I mean, hey, it's just going to help us. It's going to force me to up our game.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because we're sharing our secret sauce.
Yes, sir.
But there'll be plenty of people that foo-foo it and say, you don't need to do that. Hey, I want to make it as simple and easy for our customers to make the best decisions that fit their needs. And to me, this does it. And that's why I made the decision to share our secret sauce.
I think, if anything, it's transparency. Mm-hmm. Like, you're completely showing exactly what the product is. You're not hiding anything. You're showing exactly, it's helping the customer. So whether you like it or not, it's only benefiting you. You don't even have to look at it. If you just like the way the bull looks, and go ahead, buy the bull because of how it looks.
And that's still important, Willie.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I've never had a customer ask for an ugly bull, right? I mean, they've got to be sound, they've got to be functional, they need to look the part.
Yes, sir.
And I've never had one say, boy, that bull's just too good looking for my cows. I mean, I just hadn't had that. But but the more we can help them make the right decision, and there was one other place where I shared this with an international audience in Canada about a year and a half ago at the Beef Improvement Federation meetings, and there some of the EPD gurus were like, wow. I mean, Ronnie Green helped me kind of start this. He was my advisor in college, and he helped me start this, and back years ago. But when I first shared it there publicly in that meeting in Canada a year and a half ago, they were like, well, can you have one that's like perfectly ideal across every trait? I said, well, I hadn't made him yet, but my perfect trait 15 years ago is pretty commonplace today because genetically we've taken those cattle in the right direction for all traits. The other thing it really does is when you see the red on the spreadsheet, it helps us see that if we're going to, it's like the difference in here we are in baseball season and the most valuable players.
Baseball.
Usually, you've got your home run hitters. We've got some pretty amazing home run hitters right now, but they can also steal bases, right? They can also play some defense. They can do more than just be single dimensional. Mm-hmm. But in the bull selling business, there's a lot of people that just focus on 1, 2, or 3 traits. And they may be top 1% for growth and marbling and ribeye.
Yes, sir.
But they may have some major holes in reproductive traits where they don't make very good mamas.
Yeah.
Or they may have calving difficulty. Mm-hmm. Or there's a lot of things. They may just get way too big on the cow size. Mm-hmm. And so by having those color codes, if nothing else, it really shows where animals get out of bounds.
Yes, sir.
When we single trait select to be extreme in one area, too often we sacrifice in another. So that's another place where the color coding, I think, really helps.
I think it's kind of like, since I've noticed you really like truck references, or just vehicle references, mm-hmm. Monte Carlo. Imagine like you went to a Ford dealership and they didn't have any emblems on the trucks. Like you couldn't tell the difference between F-150 and F-350.
Right.
And just because the F-150 might have a red for hauling, well, maybe that person just needs to get to town and back. So they don't even care about the red in that aspect. They just care about what the green is and fuel mileage. Or, I don't know what the scientific term is. Miles per gallon.
There you
miles
go.
per gallon. See, I knew it was going to come there.
Got it.
That's right. But like I think like what you're doing here is you're putting the emblems on the trucks.
Well said.
And I think that when I look at it through that aspect, because like when I first got here and was trying to understand EPDs, like it was kind of confusing. But now that I've been around and you guys have explained it so many times, it's really like you're putting the emblem on the truck. You're showing them like, okay, this is an F-350. This is going to be great for hauling. This
more
is
power.
More power, exactly.
More power.
This is an F-150. This is going to be great for putting on heifers. It's going to have great calving ease. It's going to have all this, and everything that's attributed to that. But like, and I think that goes back to transparency and how the EPDs help with helping the customer figure out what bull they need for their scenario.
And the other thing is through genetic selection, through years. We've been AIing every cow on this ranch since the year I was born in 1969. And by doing that, and then more and more embryo transfer and in vitro fertilization and all the things, the technologies that we're using, we are continually making better cattle. And we're making what we call curve benders.
Yes, sir.
And that's cattle that bend the growth curve, cattle that are born small and then grow fast to the ideal mature size, but maximum pay weight at time to market so that those those sellers of the calves get as much for those calves as they can get. But so they're steers that pay, but cows that stay. Cows that stay around, they breed early every year, they last a long time, their teats and udders are just right, their feet are right, they stay in good body condition because they efficiently utilize the nutrients they have available to them. Mm-hmm. That's what we want a cow to do. That's her job description, is to make steers that pay and cows that stay. And that's what we're trying to do. And so used to, a Cavanese bull was just one-dimensional. That's all he did.
Yes, sir.
He not had much growth like the Corriente or the Longhorn. And, those bulls are sleep-all-night Cavanese bulls, or the Jersey, as our friend Jim McAdam calls them, the bug-eyed Weezers. There are bulls that specifically are known for, let's get a live calf.
Yes,
I don't want to have to worry about it.
Let's just get it out of the way.
The awesome thing is today with Angus and Red Angus genetics, we've got genetics that do that. In addition to having that live, healthy, small calf, those calves, after they hit the ground, they grow well.
Yes,
and they produce a great carcass. And they can make some of the best replacements. Hey, here, let's go to the coffee shop talk. All right, we get those guys at the coffee top drinking ranch fuel or drinking coffee, and they're sitting there going, boy, you don't want to keep any of those heifers out of those heifers, first calf heifers. No way. Well, they don't. That's been a common line of thought because they were breeding their heifers to the sorriest bull they could find to get a live, healthy calf.
Yes, sir.
That's why that's the coffee shop talk mentality.
Yeah.
And you know what mediocre people do when they get tired of being mediocre?
Teach it.
They love to go around handing out mediocre advice. Yeah, that's it.
Free advice.
That's it. Free advice. So, I want to help provide information to people, help them make better decisions.
Yes, sir.
And if we're utilizing these multi-purpose bulls, like in the back of our sale catalog, then and you can go online and look at it at rabrownranch.com. And in the back of it, we've got semen sale stuff on there, where we're selling semen on some of these bulls that are not only outstanding Kevinese, but are going to make some amazing replacement heifers too.
And you can buy that at the sale too.
Absolutely. 10% discount for buying it at the sale. And we can ship it to you, or you can bring your shipper and we'll load that shipper tank right there that day.
Yeah, I want to kind of move back over. Let's go towards the event. We've talked about, how we got there, where we came from. Let's talk about the event. 50th annual sale, R.A. Brown Ranch, October 8th and 9th. Another thing different from the first sales is that we have made it more of an event, more things to do besides watch bulls sale.
Yep. Your mom, Kelly, has done an amazing job every year of making this more and more of an event. Mm-hmm. We want it to be where people want to come, where they want to come and I had a call from Dan Taylor from Ropes, Texas today, called, and his daughter, Devon, that I went to school with, and they called and said, we just want to come to the sale. Is it okay if we just come to the sale? And we're like, absolutely. Come on. We got food every meal. We got hot coffee. We got water. We
ranch fuel.
We got ranch fuel. That's right. We're going to have all kinds of things. And we've got a trade show booth this year. We're even adding a whole big tent for trade show stuff. Yeah, we're having a big tent. Yep. We're going to start adding on again to the marketing
That's
center.
That's going to be cool.
But we're going to have a big tent this year and our customers love that because they're like, I want to know who does your brush control, because I'm seeing it out here on the ranch. Man, making a big difference, producing a lot more grass. Who's doing that? Those guys, they're going to be there. Yeah, they're going to be at the sale where they can talk to those people. Who's our animal health supplier? Hey, Todd Spitzer's been our animal health supplier since 1988. All right, the year after he and I graduated from high school, we played 7th grade football against each other, 6th grade maybe. Anyway, we've known each other a long time. He has been our animal health provider ever since. Those guys are all going to be there. Plus, there's going to be...
Capital Hatters will be there. Get you a new hat.
Absolutely. Get you a new hat. Clean up your hat. Shape up your hat. All of that. Who else is going to be there, Tucker?
The meat board will be there.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Farapes.
And those ribeye sandwiches are awesome.
They are
Tenderloin sandwiches are
amazing. What is the LRP?
Farapes is going to be there.
Is it LRP? Not LRP.
Yeah.
Insurance guys.
Right. The insurance guys are going to be there selling PRF, pasture range and forage insurance.
Vince?
Will Vince be
Virtual Fence will be there, absolutely, yeah. Yep, Vince will be there.
Just the McKee.
In fact, Ingley is going to be there.
Yeah.
Right? I know everybody listening to this podcast.
Probably saw the
video.
video.
Tell them about that. Tell them about the video.
Yeah, Grace Ingley, who works for Vince.
Mm-hmm.
We're accepting. Worked for us.
Yep.
Taking dating applications right now to go on a date with the beautiful Miss Grace.
You have to be over 21. No more 16-year-olds.
Yeah, got to be 20.
No
Got to be
more
at least 21.
16-year-olds.
And you have to be taller than her.
5'8".
Sorry, yeah,
5'8". That's how tall she is.
Yes.
Got to be taller, so you got to be 5'9". Mm-hmm. I got a text today. A guy texted me. He said, "Wait, how tall is she?"
Yeah, because in the video she doesn't look that tall.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah.
I said 5'8", and he's like, "Woo, I got an inch."
I love it.
It is taller. Live music.
Hey, we are going to have live music. That's
Cole
right.
Snyder.
The man, the myth, the legend, Cole Snyder. He's like a movie character and
he
human
really
jukebox.
is.
Great,
It will be
really
good.
talented.
That's going to be Tuesday night.
Tuesday. Well, let's talk about Tuesday. So, again, making it an event. This year, we are going to have, on Tuesday, we're going to have 2 big events. Starting at 10 o'clock in the morning, we've got the National Cattlemen's Educator of the Year and Dr. Tom Knopfsiger from Southwest Nebraska, veterinarian.
He's impressive.
He is amazing, talking about cattle handling.
Yeah.
And talking about it, he's going to do some of it horseback. He's going to do some of it on foot. We're going to do some of it chute side. But all applications of gathering a 100-acre pasture to a 10,000-acre pasture. And talk about how, I just remember some of the things. I thought I knew a little bit about handling cattle, but how much in his 3 times here to the ranch that he's taught our crew.
Right.
How he's taught me that cows tend to have a dominant eye that they prefer to look at you out of. Yes. I'm not going to give it away. You'll have to come Tuesday, October 8th, 10 o'clock. to noon. He's going to talk and show a lot of slides and videos of what he does. And then Vince is going to feed us lunch. And
we'll have breakfast before that too, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. And then after lunch, he's going to go to the arena, and he's going to show about handling cattle. And we're going to talk about therapies a little bit and what that does in reducing cattle's stress, improving their health, their well-being, and their reproduction, all of those things. And then Vince also, while at the same time in the afternoon, Vince is going to do a demonstration on their virtual fencing that we started using, last July. Yeah. After we had the big fire that burned up so much fence, and we started using virtual fence. So those are all going to be going on. Cow sale is going to be at 5 o'clock. Horse sale at 6 o'clock. Dinner and music after that. So lots of stuff going on Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday is that's actually my favorite day. That's the most fun.
It's a fun day to visit. See a lot of friends. Absolutely. Lots of great food. LNC is going to feed us supper that night.
Yeah. Those they cook some good ribeye sandwiches. We always love to have beef. But Wednesday is fun, but we get to do less visiting.
We do, but everybody else
gets
to visit.
Come. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
all
for
the
me,
bulls,
Tuesday's fun. All
the registered cows are right there for everybody to see.
Yes, sir.
And then, I also forgot about Justin and Jeannie McKee are going to have a booth there with some awesome, beautiful jewelry. So, all right, Cowboys, we're not necessarily the best at shopping for that anniversary present or that Christmas present that's coming up quick. There'll be some stuff at the RAB booth. Morgan's going to be running that. Yep. And then also at Jeannie's booth. And the Happy Toy Maker is going to be there.
Toy Maker.
The big sand pile for the kids to play on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a lot of fun. No matter what age, it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's a one-stop shop.
Yep.
You can come get a hat. You can come get a bull. You can get some merch. You can leave with a lot of things.
Yeah.
And whether you buy a bull or not, you can come here and just eat some good food and talk.
Some good people.
Absolutely. And that there'll be plenty of people that just come, to visit.
Yeah.
And that's what we want it to be. We want it to be an event that people mark on their calendar. The second Wednesday and the Tuesday before, I'm going to be in Throckmorton, Texas.
Yes. If you can't make it, we do offer sales online.
That is true. It is broadcast online. And, as we were putting together this sale catalog, it was fun. And there are several places where I wrote in the catalog kind of how it's evolved over the last 50 years. And that broadcasting it online is a big change.
Right.
I mean, just the internet alone is a big change.
Yes, sir.
But how people can, for 2 weeks, the videos went up this morning. And so people can look online, look at every animal that's in the sale.
Yeah, we have a video of every single animal.
Every single animal that's in the sale. Videos there. Horses aren't up yet. There are a few bulls that we're going to do right before the sale, but we will have videos of every animal. And then so if you can't make it to the sale, you can look at those videos, bid online, or you can call us and say, hey, well, just like we've had several people call us year after year and say, I just can't get away. We're shipping calves that day. I need 3 bulls. I need this spec. Here's my budget.
Yes, sir.
Can you buy some bulls for me? We've done that for years and years. We call it sight unseen purchases. Every bull is guaranteed that if they don't like it, then they don't own it, and we take it right back.
Yep.
I mean, it is a full satisfaction guarantee for those that ask us to buy them for them. And there's one guy that's never been to the ranch. I've bought him over 100 bulls. Over 100 bulls, never been to the ranch. And 8 out of 10 times I've been able to save him money from the budget that he gave me. Because I'm only going to buy what bulls I like that fit his budget, and I'm going to get them bought just as cheap as I can.
Yes, sir.
Just like I was buying them for myself.
Right. So you're telling me that if Willie had a cow herd and he couldn't make it, or if he was worried about purchasing, if it was his first time purchasing bulls, and he said, Donnell, you know the bulls better than I do. I have $8,000. And I need 1 heifer bull.
Yep.
And I need that heifer bull. I need it to be able to put on heifers and marble well and be a female maker.
Sure.
Then you can make that list.
I'll sort up a list of bulls, and we'll bid on those bulls for them and do our best to get the best bull we can at the best value.
Another thing that I really want that I like to talk about too is the sometimes when you think of 450 bulls. You don't have to look through all of those because we can put a list together of the bulls that fit your specs. That way, instead of looking through 200 or 450, you're only looking through 20 or 12.
Hey, I talked to Joel Reimer yesterday, a new customer from Oklahoma with the Drummond Ranch, and he said, man, he came to the ranch, we talked, we looked through bulls, we talked EPDs, and he said, can you sort me up a list? I said, absolutely. Glad to do that for you. So anybody that wants me to make up a list, man, just give us a call.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Glad to do that.
Yeah, I think that we want that because if we can get to know you, we can get bulls that fit your program better. And I think a lot of times people are worried that it's bothering us or that we're busy.
That's our job.
I know we are busy, but we're also that's the best part.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather be doing that than scooping a bunk.
Sure.
But I might be scooping a bunk while we talk.
That happens too. Thank goodness for those AirPods or whatever you put in your ears where we can multitask. But yeah, and then we have delivery service after the sale.
Right.
So that we can deliver bulls to central locations in your area at a reasonable price. And if you buy $18,000 worth of bulls or more, then we deliver them free of charge.
For free.
Yeah. Simple as that. And we'll deliver females too. A little different pricing structure on the females as far as the free delivery goes, but we also deliver the females as well.
Hey, you just flipped to the Spitzer Animal Health page. I got a bone to pick with you. I look short in that picture.
You were standing on the low side. Look at your brother's taller than you are,
I
Tucker.
look shorter than Grace Ingley over here.
You look 5'7" in that.
I look 5'7".
I love it. I love it. You know, and what's cool, here's another generation of Spencer with Gus West that's been our guy that delivering to the ranch every week for several years, and you guys grew up playing ball against each other.
Yeah, we were in the same golf group in my sophomore year of high school.
Yep.
Is where we met golfing. High school golf. Crazy. Willie, what are you most excited about for the sale?
I really like Wednesday a lot, just bringing bulls up. I like, there's a little bit of that, I got lull. Is that the right word? There's a little bit calm before the storm. Right. The auction starts, and then all of a sudden you start getting those tickets, and I like that a lot.
Because we can load out anytime. Yes, sir. As soon as as the buyer checks out, we had one that loaded out before lot 12 sold in the sale. Mm-hmm. Now, he bought a couple of the very first bulls, checked out, backed up to the chute, and we had him loaded before lot 12 sold.
I love that.
And that's pretty fast.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So we're ready, got a great crew ready to load out. Willie will be there helping load out. Tucker will be taking bids and helping customers. One thing we haven't talked about, and I'm sorry, Willie, you keep, what else are you most excited about?
No, that's
I'm
it.
talk about the horse sale in
No, wait. What are you most excited about? I was slamming the table.
I just really like the team that we have assembled, and I enjoy the quality time working with them and with the interns and getting all those bulls up. I love that.
Willie,
seeing all the people.
Even though we don't run the cattle through the ring anymore, we're still sorting lots of cattle to load during the sale. And they're for years and years. Every sale I can remember people just standing out there watching the horses work.
Yes, sir.
And love that. And of course, we want to train these bulls to handle horseback.
Yes,
There's a lot of bull providers that don't have a horse.
Yes, sir.
And yet they go to ranches where they've got to handle them horseback. And if they haven't been taught to respect a horse, sometimes they aren't very easy to handle.
Yes, sir.
So these bulls, they work. I mean, we try to make sure they handle. You've got my granddaughters out there that are 3 and 1 years old, and grandmas, and dad with his cane,
yes,
and
sir.
I mean they're people of all ages that they're used to seeing and respecting people on foot as well as cowboys horseback.
Yes, sir.
But they love watching the horses and watching the cowboys, and I've got to tell you, L. Smith has been a part of our team for 37 years.
Yes, sir.
He is 92 years old, and he bladed the road this morning after a good 2-inch rain.
We were behind him.
We were behind him.
He did an awesome job.
He did not see us.
He did not see us.
I don't doubt that a bit. But he's cleaning out the pens. He's building roads for us. He's grading the roads. He's clean. Just does amazing stuff. And he's been here 37 years. And he told me the other day, he said, "I believe it's the best crew that we've ever had." And I'm really proud of the crew that we have.
I didn't know that.
Yep. But we've got, talking about another event, we've got the horse sale.
Yes, sir.
So my brother Rob A. and I, we were talking this morning. We're gonna have these horses pinned just to the south of the marketing center. We're going to have 10 weanlings. This will be the last of the natural bred take-a-pick babies because, well, no, we'll have another set next year. But we lost take-a-pick much too early. AQHA World Champion Versatility. This will be as next to last foal crop of live cover. And, man, I tell you what, there's a picture of Dad in the catalog holding old take-a-pick.
That's a good one.
That one and the picture of your brother after winning the world on him, those are two brown boys that are smiling for sure. But those are going to sell on Tuesday, right after the registered Angus females. They sell at 5 on Tuesday the 8th.
Which ones?
The registered Angus females do. Yeah, registered Black Angus females. Okay. We'll have 40 lots of that, including the pick of our best 5 donors. Ooh. You're able to buy a flush, guaranteed 6 embryos, out of our very best Angus cows.
Ooh.
And a great group of donors, several donors that we're selling, several bred cows, bred heifers, an awesome group of females and some special embryo lots. Right after the Angus female, and I hope we're able to draw a really good group of buyers for those Angus females because we spend so much time focused on the bulls that sometimes I just don't spend enough time marketing the registered females. And I'm going to say I've really failed on that registered Angus female marketing. I'm hoping this year we'll get more people here because they've been the bargain.
Yeah.
By far the bargain. I mean, we'll have some commercial females sell cheaper than our Angus females have been in years past. But, man, we're really revolutionizing our Angus program. I've got an awesome set of cows that we're selling. And then we'll sell those weanlings right after.
Yes, sir.
They're all going to be weaned. They're going to be halter broke. They're going to be right there for everybody to see. We can load out right after the sale. We can load out the next day. But that's another highlight that my brother Rob A. and Griffin, his son, and our family's going to be working hard to make sure it's a great event as well.
Yeah, that horse sale, a lot of people who have been coming to the sale have known the horse sale to always be the Tuesday before the October sale.
Yep.
Kind of a change in that the past couple of years with my cousins and Lanham, my brother, being more involved in the Snaffle Bit Futurity, which is at the exact same time as the sale.
Right.
And we've kind of had to shift a lot of the events, of the horse events, over to the spring sale, to the March sale. The fall sale, this October horse sale, is the same as it's been.
Yes, sir.
In that we've always sold weanlings.
Weanlings.
This is going to be a great set of weanlings. It's going to be all the mom and dad's weanlings are going to sell. And looking forward to having mom and dad out at the sale.
Mm-hmm.
They're 88 and 89 or 87, 88. I'm trying to remember what year models they are, but some fun old pictures in the catalog of them right after they got married and our family through the years. But, yeah, we'll look forward to seeing mom and dad at the sale. And then also, and we're thankful for that because Mom had a stroke 2 days before the sale last year. But thankfully, she's doing well, and Mom and Dad are at home, and we're thankful to have some great people to help take care of them. But I talk about getting the gates, and I encourage people to read that in the catalog about how I remember growing up being in the passenger seat with my dad getting the gates. Well, now I go by and pick up Dad, and we'll go 2 or 3 days a week. We'll go check cows. We'll go put out mineral.
Yes, sir.
We'll go check water and check grass, check grazing, check fences. And he'll insist on getting a gate every once in a while because he's just not traveling as fast as he used to.
Yep.
But I appreciate the opportunity to go with my dad.
Right.
And it tells more about that and how, my dad was only 29 years old when he lost his dad. My granddad was in his early 20s when he lost his dad.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm thankful to be here 55 years old and still be able to work side by side with my parents and now with our sons.
Yeah.
And Tucker, you were talking about Lanham at the snaffle bit and that horse sale. We watched him during the sale. You took over my duties on the block, so I could go watch Kelly and I could go watch him in the back on the internet as he made the finals and ended up winning the Snaffle Bit Futurity last year. So in the spring with our March sale, we've added a riding horse sale, and boy, that's really taking off.
Yes, sir.
it's a 3-day event with the big horse show on Monday, the finals of the horse show on Tuesday, a horse clinic on Tuesday to go along with it, and then the horse sale that night, and then our bull and female sale on the second Wednesday of March.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
I think March is fun. That March sale
That is fun. I'd have
tends to
blast
be
at it.
both that Tuesday and Wednesday of the March sale tend to be a little more fun, I feel like, for us because we get to talk to the customers and spend time with people, our friends who we've been doing business with a long time or very short. I mean, first-time customers. But, that's the hard part about Wednesday of October is that I know that there's a lot of people who do want to come and visit with us, and we don't always get that opportunity. That's why I always encourage people to come on Tuesday.
Sure,
Before the Wednesday sale, because that's when we do get that opportunity to shake your hand and to talk about the bull you want to buy and to talk about the cows or how the last bull did, because we don't always get that opportunity on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Even though we want to, we're selling over 1,000 head, and there's not much time in between them. We sell them how long? Every 39 seconds?
Yeah, 39 seconds per bull going through from the time the auctioneer starts until they're sold. We average about 39 seconds per bull. Yeah,
we will have
we respect everybody's time. I mean,
Right,
we're
right.
packing a lot into that day.
Yes.
But that way you can come, get your business tended to. We've got, in the front of the catalog, we know exactly what time the Angus bulls are starting at 10 o'clock. And the black reds, we hadn't even talked about that, but they're selling right there with the black Angus.
Yep.
Then the commercial females. We got 540 commercial females, including some pairs this year. Those ought to be a really neat item.
Yeah.
We do that with some of those belong to us, some belong to our best customers. And then the red Angus bulls start sometime about 1 o'clock. Angus bulls to follow them, and then the registered red and black Angus females will be the last thing to sell on Wednesday afternoon.
It's a long day.
It is a long day, but you can take it in pieces and parts and get what you want and come early and stay late and have a great time.
Yes, sir.
We will have somebody who will be attending their very first cattle sale from Chicago.
Is that
flying
right?
all the way down to see their first sale.
Really?
Yeah, and I call her Dr. Chu, and she always hates it when I call her that. But she is a dietitian, not a dietitianist. I said that one time, and
That's not the right term.
word. No.
Get the term right.
She is a registered dietitian, and she helps athletes work on their diets. But she got to meet her at NCBA event, and she was like, "This is a thing. I'm coming. Number 50. I'm coming." And so I love that about the industry, and that we have that the sale is open to people who are coming to their first sale and to the people who have been coming for 50 years.
Absolutely. Yeah, we will have a lot of first-timers, and we'll have a lot of old-timers here.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll have some people that have been here at multiple sales. I mean, I think, Michael Sturgis, this is going to be like his 40th sale or something like that. It's one of our ring men. Phil Stahl has been to almost every one of them. He was at the first one. Hadn't made every one of them, but he's been to nearly every one of them with the Weekly Livestock Reporter.
Well, let's touch on the Black Reds if we can.
Yeah, sure.
Because I had a call the other day of I feel like that's the most common curious question I get is, what is the black red, and are my calves going to be black, or are those the black animals with a little bit of red on the end of it, or that's the most curious question I get from customers. What is the black red Angus?
So, as a Red Raider, red and black, Reckham Tech, right?
Go Raiders.
Go Raiders.
Go Raiders.
So we have been blending both colors of Angus together for 25 years. And with that, we're blending the strengths of Red Angus being awesome docility and an awesome mothering ability, the high fertility, the conservative size, that Goldilocks size, and excellent cowherd traits, with the awesome growth and marbling of the black Angus and calving ease spread, blending all those things together in those cattle. Black is dominant, so they've got one black gene, one red gene. And we've been doing it 27 years. And people have come and they'll look at those bulls and they say, "Man, that's some of the best bulls in the sale." And then they'll sit there and watch them sell and not buy them.
Yeah.
But those that buy them keep coming back and buying them year after year after year. I mean, all the people that have done that keep coming back and buying those black reds because they work. And if you breed them to a straight black cow that doesn't have a red gene, you're going to get all black calves.
All black.
All black calves. We started doing it to bring new improved genetics to the red Angus population and grow the gene pool. Mm-hmm. Because Angus, 27 years ago, was 5 times larger in the number of calves born every year than red Angus. So I wanted to grow with new outcross genetics, but not take a chance on a young unproven bull, but be able to use something that's highly proven and superior at the top of the game. So I take those top Angus bulls, breed them to my top red Angus cows, and we're doing more of that now than ever before.
Yeah.
And it has worked because last year, 8 of the 10 most popular red Angus bulls that registered the most calves last year in red Angus had a black bull on their parent-grandparent 3-generation pedigree. Dang. Yeah, that 8 of the 10 most popular bulls had a black animal on their pedigree. It's showing that it works. Now, all of those top 10 were red, but they were coming from some of that black heritage where we were blending both together. The really cool thing now is a year and a half ago, the Angus Association changed their rules to where if I take that black red and breed it black, and we DNA tested homozygous black, now I can register that one as new outcross genetics in the Angus population with the American Angus Association. So I love it. Now we're taking these cattle both ways to bring new improved genetics to help both red Angus and black Angus, and our commercial bull buyers are the big winners in that. I think Kyle Payne at Telephone Texas has been coming here. His son Bob was one of our interns years ago. Been buying these black reds for years and years and putting them on Brayford and Brangus top cows mainly. Holy cow, they are fantastic.
Yeah.
And he has probably used our black red bulls as long or longer than anybody.
And keeps coming back for more.
Keeps coming back for more right up there in northeast Texas. Those cattle really fit.
So, Willie, I did want to, you've been quiet over there. You've just been like kind of smiling and listening to Dad get louder and louder as he gets more excited and more excited.
There's a lot of history here.
There is, you're right, and being a history major,
Yeah.
What do you think? Your wheels are turning.
I think it's just really cool just to see the legacy. I mean, like, looking at the Spurs and, like, your granddad stuff and going through the office and seeing everything. Like, just the legacy in 1895, that's 130 years of history to build up to this moment and continue going on. I think that's really fascinating to be a part of. And then also, not only are you guys, still the tradition is there, but you're also doing it in a way that, like, you hear people, we kind of made it a joke. Sometimes we'll laugh about it, but like, you don't have to change. We have to compete with those that do.
Yep.
And like, you're constantly finding ways to make those leaps and bounds while also keeping the tradition at the same time. It's not one or the other. There's just like a perfect balance of it. And that's probably my favorite thing about being here, because we get to saddle horse every single day, but we're also learning. It's not like we're dealing with some real crappy cows and just doing it just to get calves. We're doing it with a purpose. And I think when you add that purpose into it, it makes everything so much different, so much more important. Not like that.
Yeah, I think you made a point on the purpose. There's a lot that the purpose is just a calf.
Yeah.
Like just to get a calf. So I think you make a good point on the purpose, which is, go over to you, Donnell. What are, with you having a purpose, you can hear it a lot in your voice. What are 2 things that separate R.A. Brown Ranch bulls from others?
2 things?
2 things.
I've got like 20.
Let's go top 2.
All right, top 2. I'm going to say 2 of the big things are our bull development. We're selling age advantage bulls that are coming 2-year-olds, so that, why ask a boy to do a man's job? Mm-hmm. So we've got bulls that are right, they're ready, they're mature, they're ready to go breed a lot of cows and hold up because of the way we develop them for longevity, where we're developing them on a corn-free diet, high roughage, a lot of wheat silage, wheat hay, and cotton burrs as the primary ingredients in the ration to get their gut right, their joints and their feet developed right, so that they're right and ready to go. I think those are two of the things, as well as the dollar profit system, more tools to help us make the right decisions. So there's a lot of things, but those would be some of the best because, I'm going to say this. There are places you can go to buy bulls cheaper than ours. And there's places you can go to buy bulls that are more expensive than ours. But I don't know where you can go anywhere to buy bulls that'll make you more money than our bulls. And that's our number one goal, to improve our customers' profitability and their sustainability in the cattle business.
So if I ask you this question, I feel like I know what the answer is. Throw a softball, see if he knows it. See if he knows it. So why has our family been in the cattle business since 1895?
What comes to mind is our mission statement.
There you go.
Is that what you were
That
getting
is,
at?
that's
That's what it comes to mind. I mean, it's been our mission statement for decades, and that is that we are continually striving to improve the sustainability and the efficiency of converting God's forage into safe, nutritious, and great-tasting beef to better feed God's people. And that's why our family's in the cattle business.
I think you missed a word.
I did? What did I
think you
miss?
did. Is profitability in there?
That's in our goals, but it's not
Profitable or sustainable?
sustainable. Yep. Our profitable has been in our number one goal, but in our mission statement, it's talking about the sustainability and the efficiency to better feed God's people.
You were testing them.
That's right.
You were trying to
Made
test
me
them
think.
there.
Made me think hard. But here's the thing: a big part of sustainability is financial sustainability.
Yeah,
That's where that profit's got to
Yes,
come
sir.
in.
Yes.
And to have sustained profitability, it's got to work year after year.
Knows his stuff. I like to end the podcast with has there been a Bible verse recently that you've really liked or been running through your mind? And this is, I didn't warn you about this question. So we'll see. Interested to see either your favorite or one that's been one of your newer favorites.
Well, I had Cody Fry was here last week, and he's managing the Crooked River Ranch now, and which we had leased for 37 years. And it was great to see Cody, and he and his family. I just have so much respect for what a man of God he is, and what a family man he is. Just so impressed with he and his character. And he shared a verse with me in a note that he sent the day after he was here, and he said, iron sharpens iron, as one man sharpens another. And he was saying thanks for helping us sharpen each other.
Yeah, that's good. I like that one. Willie, you have one?
Yeah. Actually, I started going through Proverbs after talking to you one night. We had a pretty good conversation. I forget, that was like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were talking about, it's really good for young men to go through Proverbs because there's just so much in there. And one that really hit me pretty hard was Proverbs 3:5, and it says to trust the Lord in all your heart. I have it. It's my screensaver, so I'm cheating.
There you go.
There you go.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. That's Proverbs 3:5. And, I've been getting caught up in trying to lean on my own understanding. And, this is what I want. This is what I want to do. And just getting caught up in all of that and just realizing that God's got a plan. God loves you. He's not going to do it for you. But if you continue to meet his will and be able to live in a life that pleases him, you're going to be just fine.
Yeah, Proverbs is good. I like
Big
Proverbs a lot.
fan. What about you, Tucker?
I keep wanting to read that. I went back and listened to the podcast of Tyler Rogers again, and which is our second episode. What was it? Learn how to ranch, how to start ranching.
How to start ranching.
Yeah.
Tyler Rogers.
But
Been one of the most popular ones of all, hasn't it?
it's
was
got over
pretty good.
1,000 streams.
Wow.
But I went back and listened to it, and I meant to read this week. I meant to read the passage he was talking about.
And Isaiah.
Yeah, and
I think
Isaiah,
it's 14:10.
which I've mentioned before, but I went back and listened to it this week and said I was going to read it, and I haven't done that yet. But I love that passage. You going to find it?
Yeah, I'm trying. I know it's in Isaiah. I want to say it's Isaiah 14:10, but I know the verse is that it's not 14:10. But the story is that I think it's Samuel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Samuel's going out. He's fighting. He's doing warrior stuff.
Yep.
And his armor carrier's with him. And it's kind of an analogy that Samuel's Jesus and that we're the armor carrier. And Samuel comes up onto this camp, and I think it's the Philistines that they're fighting.
I think so.
And the Philistines are, just at the camp doing Philistine things. And Samuel looks at his armor carrier and is like, "Hey, do you think we should jump him?" No, I mean, I'm making this modern terms. He's like,
Sure, paraphrasing.
Paraphrasing.
Yeah.
Do you think we should jump him? And the armor carrier looks at him like, just imagining like me with Jesus, like without a doubt, and just all the faith in him. Like, I'm with you, heart, mind, and soul. Like, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, his armor carrier's like, whatever. Yes.
Whatever
He's
you
all
need.
in.
And like, can you imagine being that armor carrier and like, there's two of you going against a whole camp of these Philistine soldiers, and like, I imagine back then them soldiers didn't have a lot to do besides fight and lift weights, so they're probably jacked and intimidating.
Yeah.
And without a doubt, just unwavering faith. Just, let's do it. I got your back, Jesus. Like, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, and I love how Tyler changed it to where, like a lot of us may think of us as Samuel and just be the big, stout, tough guy, when really we're not.
We're not.
We're
We're
not.
just
We're
tiny little armor carriers.
Yeah, we're the armor carrier. Like, but yeah,
You might think you're jacked, bro, but you should see Jesus.
yeah, but when he's with you, who can be against you, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Tucker, I'm so proud of you and Willie and what you guys are doing with this podcast. It's awesome, and what you're doing with social media and how you're taking R.A. Brown Ranch and what we do to the masses to help advocate for agriculture, to advocate for faith in Christ, and to be a family man. And I appreciate that so much. I just want you to know I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you.
That's the goal. If somebody doesn't tell your story, if you don't tell your story, somebody will tell it for you. So we got to tell it. Well, hour 16 down. That was a fast hour 16.
That was only an hour and 16. I thought it was longer than that. It was fun.
You
I
thought
felt
it
like
was
I went
longer?
through 50 years. That's what I meant. I wasn't saying it.
50 years
I wasn't saying it went
No,
longer
it's
because
good.
I was bored. I was
Looking
saying
forward to seeing Al and Vicky Wright. I think this will be their 46th sale that
Golly.
they come from Arkansas to our sale.
I think 50. I was gonna say I think the sale has been going on longer than you and I combined, but there's a couple years.
Not quite
extra.
combined, but
close.
been selling bulls that long.
Yeah, the ranch has been around that long.
Yeah, but we're only, from today, we're only 2 weeks away.
We're only 2 weeks away.
14 days away.
Make your plans now.
The two of the 4 most exciting days
There you go.
on the R.A. Brown Ranch are up to come. Woo. Thanks for listening to episode 14 of the Registered Ranching Podcast. If you haven't yet, give us a 5-star review. Really helps us get the word out to the masses. That's our goal. If you had some fun, let us know. Find us on social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We're on them all.
That's right.
Thanks to Willie, really.
No, you were already doing it before I got here.
Really. Yeah, thanks to our sponsors in Ranch Fuel and Ag Gear and Bedrock Truck Beds for making it possible. Not all podcasts are free, but guess what? This one is.
That's right. You're welcome.
Thank you. You've been listening to the Registered Ranching Podcast. We love you. Y'all have a good day. God bless. But remember, y'all stay classy.
And ranch on them.
And ranch on them. Dip coming up. You got like louder every time. Your ears are fuzzy. Sweaty. I think it's good though. Yeah. My hands got faster. Really, I think it'd be good to have this. Like, hearing like just the talking